This quick tutorial is going to be on how to add an assignment to Power Teacher Gradebook, excuse me. And so first, just make sure you're in your right class. And once you're here in the whatever page you're on, it doesn't matter because this Create button is always here in the top right-hand corner. So I'm going to click Create Assignment, and that brings up my assignment details here. So I can put in a name of the assignment. So this is just a test 2. And it's good to know that you could select this to multiple classes. So let's say I want it in all my classes, and then you actually can change the due date per class for students. For our example, I'm just going to have our selected one class. So after you have your test name in, one of the biggest changes this year is that we have our categories set in a strategic way for standards-based grading. So now I can choose formative, summative, or diagnostic. In the last tutorial, we talked a little bit about what each of those meant. But I want you to notice that once I click formative, the score type goes to collected only. You leave it right there because we are going to grade on the standards, not by the entire assignment. We don't give 95% to test 2. Instead, we give a specific grade for each standard. If I click summative, it stays collected only as well. Because we do standards-based grading, we always leave this as collected. So I'm going to leave this as summative, which means that it will influence a predicted grade for my students, a suggested grade for the end of the semester. So this is summative. I leave collected only. I can change the due date if I wish. I can even add a description. However, I'm not finished yet. I need to go through all these tabs. Probably you'll always want all your students added. If you want to unselect a student for this assignment, you can do that there. However, this standards area is the really important part. If we don't add any standards to an assignment, then we're not doing any standard-based grading. When you are ready to add standards to your assignment that you just created, you will be on this standards tab. Now, if you take a look, all of our learning behaviors, so we have 2 here, responsibility and work habits, and participation and collaboration, they have specific skills under them now. One warning is please never select the general learning behavior here, even though, unfortunately, you're able to click that box. If it has this little sunshine with an arrow up on it or the little house, however you want to think of that, never ever click that standard. That goes for those who have decided to break down their academic reporting categories as well. So what do we do here with learning behaviors now? I look on responsibility and work habits of what I specifically want to grade. Maybe I want to grade takes initiative in that one. And maybe in participation and collaboration, there's not a specific skill there. I just want to give a general. If you want to give a general, again, warning, do not click on the main learning behavior category. Click just below it where it says the point 1. It's general participation and collaboration. You can do that as well. Then you can continue to select your academic standards, which in this case, I have subcategories, so you can see that I am only selecting the subcategory again, not the little sunshine with the up arrow on it. If you do not have subcategories, you will just see them as normal. Once you have your standards selected, you can push save or then show your selected standards here. I can see what standards are selected, and now if you've selected summative, it should say count and final grade. That would be a default on your settings, but I think it's always good to check that. My Power School class was created before the last update, so yours should automatically have that, but I always am in the habit of checking that now because that says that you want to count this in the final grade. So here are my standards, and then I just check one more time that they say count in final grade. And the last tab is published. Again, because we selected in the beginning a category, it made this default to publish my scores immediately. So you don't really have to push anything there, but just as a check so you know what it does. So one more time, I want to go through these areas. Assignment name, and basically all you need to do is an assignment name and click on the category in this page. Never have to change the score type. It always allows you to, but we are not going to be changing that score type. We are only doing collected only because our scores go on standards, not on an assignment. Again, the students tab and then the standards tab is really important because I can select now what am I actually going to grade. In standards-based grading, we don't actually grade a project or a quiz. We grade the standards attached to that project or quiz to give more specific feedback. All right, I have it counted to my final grade, and I'm going to say save and close. Now I'm going to see my new assignment is here, and I could say score the assignment, or I could just click on the name in the assignment list. And now I have all my students listed, the assignment that I'm giving, and then my standards are here. The HS 1.4 and 1.5 are both learning behaviors, and when I hover over, I can see what they exactly are, or when I click in the box, I can see exactly what they are. So my learning behaviors, I'm going to say exceptional here and fill the whole column. I'm going to say this is developing and fill the whole column. And now I'm in my academic grades. You will see a 1 through 7 for your academic scores. We also have this added, the pass, withdrawal, or incomplete for final grades. You don't need to use those when you're grading, just an assignment and the standards in it. That will be used later for your final score. So I can put in, let's say I'm going to give this a 6 for everyone, and I'm going to give this a 5 for everyone. Perfect. Now, this score column on the left is talking about the overall test 2. Now, once I click on that, you'll see we actually don't give 1 grade for this test 2. They get 2 grades. But what you could choose to do here is add a small comment about this overall assessment. Please note that we do not push parents to see this comment because they go through Report Center. However, it does live in PowerSchool. So if you do put a comment there, be sure that it is for an audience of the student and the parent, knowing that we're not using that feature this year. If you wanted to say missing for a certain student, or that it's collected, and yes, I want to fill all these except for this student, he's late and it's missing. So you could give an overall comment on how they did on this test, but you're not actually scoring it like a 95% or a 6 out of 7. We only grade the standards. So once I'm finished with that, you can go ahead and add another assignment if you wish. So I'm going to go back to grading and see my assignment list. And I would be able to create another assignment, whether it's formative or summative or diagnostic. So that's a quick look into how to add your first assignment. If you have any questions, please reach out.